Bandit and Company. How about a nice Ellensburg welcome for John Payne, Chandler, Oklahoma, and his horse Outlaw. Watch this man work this pony. You can see he's working a bullwhip with the only arm that he's got. That means that horse is being worked with all the cues on his legs, left and right, moving around, turn him around. He can do it all with his lower body. That is amazing. That is a broke animal and quite a horse trainer. Right now, we'd like to take you back in time. When a man's horse was his most prized possession, there's a lot of reasons for that, because a good horse might mean whether you survived or not. You know, cowboys and Indians alike would lay the reins down on the neck of a horse just like John's doing today. They needed to shoot their weapon or crack their whip, steer their horse with the legs. You don't see very many cowboys with the ability that this man has do it like that. You're looking at an endurance horse. A horse that can run like the wind for miles on end. A horse they might have used in the Pony Express days to carry the U.S. mail. These horses were usually about half broke and kind of hard to handle. Look and run long and hard. Maybe it was a land rush mount to get you there first to claim the best land. I guarantee you there was a breed of man that worshipped horses that could run. They were our Native Americans, Indians. They worshipped these kind of horses and relied on them in warfare to chase buffalo across the Great Plains, or to chase men that wanted off the Great Plains, to get them out of there, to get them off their land. Seems like this unfolded all over the West. If you were a pale-face and riding through hostile Indian territory on a horse that couldn't run, you were gone. You needed a horse with speed and endurance. It could save your scalp and carry you to safety. Will he get out of there? Uh-oh, that Indian might have got a coup right there. Yep. Sometimes they made it, sometimes they didn't. But one thing about it, Native Americans, their survival in the Great Plains was based on the American buffalo, the bison, the supreme ruler. They were the monarch of the plains. Bulls could weigh 2,000 pounds and stand 6 feet at the shoulder. They were 60 million strong at one time, the largest animal group ever assembled on the planet. Buffalo were so plentiful that a man could walk on their backs and never touch the ground for 100 miles across, dominating the landscape. Buffalo wallow in the dirt. You might see that happen here today, to shield themselves from the biting insects. Now I tell you, these herds would trample everything in their path as they would leave pursuers in a cloud of dust. Buffalo trails made western expansion less difficult, that's for sure. They were known to have a fight-to-the-death attitude. Traditionally, they were scared of nothing and very confident of their ability to defend themselves. One thing for sure, buffalo created even more stir in the Wild West on who would pursue and live off the buffalo. The Indians or the buffalo hunters. With more firepower on behalf of the white man, they started pursuing the buffalo that the Indians had been chasing and living off of for centuries. And with that came high-tech rifles that would decimate the great herds. Killing the buffalo became a pastime. The railroad brought in the hunters and hauled buffalo bones out. This infuriated the Indians. They worshipped the buffalo and wasted nothing. It provided them with food and shelter and tools. But industrial greed was taking its toll. And after only 15 years of slaughter, only 200 buffalo would survive in 1883. Embedded deep in the North American history, buffalo have left a rich and unequal legacy of feeding and struggling a nation in its infancy. The buffalo deserved the right and paid the price to truly become celebrated as an American icon. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight, what we want you to realize is that anyone who enters the domain of the buffalo, one thing about it, they had to be bad to the bone.
Ladies
and gentlemen, you are going to watch a man do the absolute impossible. Now that is how you bring a rig into the rodeo. He's riding a mule called Bull right now. And just like the buffalo hunters of yesteryear, you'd have to go to the highest point on the plain to find out where that herd was located to get you a game plan. Ladies and gentlemen, how about we send this man a smoke signal through your hands on how much we've enjoyed his story so far. What you're about to see has never been duplicated. There is one man and his family from the Osage Indian Reservation of Oklahoma that will attempt and succeed every time. Now there's been a few imitators attempt to do what this man does for a living, but there have been none other than the one-armed bandit and company. Put it all together. He points to that buffalo, he tells him where to go, and with a little bit of encouragement and a movement here and there by Mo, this ought to be interesting. What's the one-armed bandit going to do with the renegade buffalo now? Is he going to go up? You better believe it. Not only that, but John Payne's going to back him up. The monarch of the Paynes that nobody would push around. Go to the top spot on top of the saddle. Ladies and gentlemen, how about it now for the one-armed bandit, John Payne. Now, folks, I want you to know that over 20 years ago, this man was electrocuted. 7,200 volts of electricity shot through his body. He thought the electric was off, but it was not. Went out through his abdomen and down through that right arm, blew his hand clear off that arm. But you know what? There's a lot of people that could have sat around and felt sorry for themselves. They could have taken a government handout. This man never has. All he knows is hard work and being a cowboy. I'm talking about one of the most inspiring men I've ever been around. He's a modern-day Buffalo Bill. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud of what this man has done. And today, we celebrate two lifestyles. The Indians, the cowboy. Oh yeah, and one more, the Buffalo. How about we tell this man how much we appreciate his showmanship, his courage, and the will and determination to be an overcomer. I don't know about you, but we need more John Paynes in our country today. This is a modern-day John Wayne. They don't make him any tougher than John Payne from the Osage Indian country of northeastern Oklahoma. 11 times Entertainer of the Year and the greatest entertainer rodeo has ever known. Thank you, John.